We're just 1 day away from the NBA Finals. I'm Joy Taylor, joined by two legends. NBA Finals MVP Paul Pierce. Audio working? You good to go?
No audio, but I'm good to go.
And Super Bowl champ Keyshawn Johnson. We'll have to talk really loud so Paul can hear. It's almost here. It's almost here. The finals are almost here.
Yeah. I'm actually excited about this one. A lot of people talking about OKC, Indiana, but this is going to be some good basketball.
It is. Well, both the Pacers and the Thunder are 4 wins away from their first NBA titles in franchise history, and both have superstar guards leading the way. For Indiana, Tyrese Haliburton has elevated his profile this postseason, taking down Giannis and the top-seeded Cavs, and the Knicks on his way to the finals. For OKC, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was named league MVP and hopes to become the first player since LeBron in 2012 to pair that with a finals MVP. So, Paul.
Yeah.
Who has more to gain from a championship, SGA or Haliburton?
Oh, this is an easy one, Joy. It's Haliburton. Nobody's stock has risen as high as Tyrese's Haliburton in this playoff run. We already seen SGA get the MVP. We already seen SGA come up second last year. We have expectations for SGA to win. As a matter of fact, he's a heavy favorite to win the championship. But Tyrese Haliburton, this is a guy who his peers deemed him overrated. People said he shouldn't have been on the Olympic team. People are like, he's all right. He didn't even make the All-Star team this year. He didn't even make his counterpart, Siakam, made the All-Star team. So if Indiana wins the championship, and there's a great chance that Haliburton will play well enough, if he gets the MVP, man, when I tell you, those things that his peers said about him, those things that coaches and GMs thought about him, are going to fly right out the window, because we're going to be talking about him possibly being the best point guard in the NBA. I don't know. I mean, it's tough because the point guard position right now is as deep as it's ever been. But, hey, for him to carry an Indiana team past New York, past the #1 seeded Cleveland, past Giannis Antetokounmpo, who a lot of people eyes consider as a top 2 or 3 player in the NBA, I'm talking about this leap is going to be higher than, man, who the high jumper for the Olympics, whoever that is. But anyway, it's Tyrese Haliburton for me.
That's a compelling argument.
You say so more to gain. I think obviously both can gain something from it, but
right.
More to gain is SGA. He's already got the regular season MVP. Mm-hmm. You go on and you win this championship. It's your first. Right? You now, most likely, you win a championship, you're going to be the MVP of the final. So you get the regular season final, and you get the finals
MVP.
MVP.
Regular season MVP and finals MVP.
And he got the Eastern Conference MVP already. I mean, the Western Conference.
So you go regular season, Western Conference final MVP, the Magic Johnson Award. Now you get the finals MVP for winning the finals. And you got a 60-plus win team, and this is your second stop in the situation where you had the #1 seed. You just look at where he puts himself in the upper echelon of the NBA players. Because right now, when you start, how we like to throw top 5 player, who is this? We don't, even though he won the MVP, we don't never say SGA. We always start with the Joker, and then we go to a Giannis. Then we argue about if it's a LeBron in there somewhere, if it's an Ant-Man in there, Mitchell in there, but we never have a conversation about SGA. Ooh. So it's a lot to gain from that standpoint. Now, both of them have, but I think he just a little bit more, because it's going to kick him up to another level. And he got a lot of personality to me. I mean, he got a lot of personality.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see both you guys had your Wheaties this morning.
Wheaties?
But, I don't know, like whatever. Just bring it.
No, they still sell Wheaties.
They do?
Yeah, but Wheaties they weren't really in my household.
Is that an outdated reference?
No, this is not my household.
I'm just giving you guys compliments. It's very good. Two very good takes. I agree. Both of them obviously have a lot to gain, and I hear you on Haliburton because the jump is tremendous. It's Olympic high jump level. But I think it's SGA because what he it's just no winners and losers here. I think it's SGA because he, to me, will 100% win the finals MVP if they end up winning the championship.
100%.
I'm not sure that Haliburton will necessarily win the finals MVP.
Because he got another dude.
Well, yeah, and because his style of play, he can have these games where he's constantly distributing. Now, maybe they'll consider that to be something worthy of being finals MVP, but if someone else on his team has more scoring or is more dominant in that way throughout the series and they end up winning, I don't know that it's a given that Haliburton would necessarily win finals MVP. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean he's not the leader, the face, that everything's going to go through him, but unequivocally, if OKC wins the finals, he will be getting finals MVP. Mm-hmm. We know that. The way that the team looks, the scoring, the output that he has, that is going to happen. So that's the only thing, is that they could win a championship, but I don't know it's a given that Haliburton would be the finals MVP.
SGA can average 27 plus, right? I'm just giving him a 27 plus number. I don't know.
He's averaging 29.8 points.
Yeah, but I gave him 27. I know I just gave him 27 to give it to him.
In the playoffs.
But Haliburton probably won't get there to that number, right?
But I'm saying, but if they win, we're assuming that Haliburton would get the finals MVP, and I'm not positive that it wouldn't be a Siakam.
Right. But see, Siakam won the Eastern Conference
I mean,
trophy.
just like Jaylen Brown last
Larry
year.
Bird.
Right.
Jaylen Brown last year won it, and, Tatum's supposed to be the man.
And that's what I'm saying when you start thinking about the numbers, because a lot of it is going to be based on the average number, and I don't think his average number, even though, like you said, Joy, maybe you add in playmaking abilities, 10 assists, and you could try to say, okay, well, he has 10 assists as well. That added to the scoring.
But I don't necessarily know they're going to do that.
I don't know. I think, man, come on, y'all. We all know he should have won Eastern Conference MVP now. His influence on them wins, think about this. In those wins versus the Knicks, what games you remember? Game 1? The bounce, the bounce,
up and down.
all of this. Then the 35-point triple-double with no turnovers. I mean, just
he was spectacular. But I'm saying they tend to look at the numbers.
Yeah. How much did you average when you won it in 08?
I averaged 21. That's because I was averaging 25, and I had one bad game due to jet lag.
He had to throw that in there.
No, I had jet lag.
Just let y'all know I was jet lagged.
No, I had a six. No, seriously. I had a 6-point game in game 3 because we played game.
Wasn't that the Kobe game? We shut you down?
No. Look, we had game 2 in Boston on Sunday, and then we had game 3 on a Tuesday in LA. You see what I'm saying? So it was one day in between having to fly from East Coast to West Coast.
But how you gonna make that an excuse when you live on the West Coast and you travel all the time?
No. I lived in Boston throughout the season, Key. So I lost 3 hours. I lost 3 hours of sleep. I lost 3 hours.
Anyway, you averaged.
My routine was off.
You averaged 21. Was you the highest scorer?
What happened in the other games in the
You was the highest scorer at playoffs for y'all.
Of my team, yes.
So that's one of the reasons that not only were you great, but that's one of the reasons they gave you the MVP. Like
you weren't jet lagged on the other ones?
No, it was one day in between, Joy. It was like 3 hours. But after that game 4, I had 38.
In 2010, they was jet lagged the whole series.
Well, let's talk about yesterday's breaking news. The Knicks fired Tom Thibodeau 3 days after the Knicks were eliminated from the Eastern Conference Finals. Tibbs made the playoffs 4 of his 5 years in New York, but the team still decided to go in another direction. So now the conversation begins.
Why are you still laughing, man?
No, I'm just thinking of this right here. Tom Thibodeau.
Who's the best fit for the Knicks head coach, Bob?
Man, it's hard out here on a coach when you're trying to get the Knicks to the title. Hey, no, think about all the coaches that have been took out. It's hard out here on a coach.
Man, will you stop? Look, you serious?
No, but look. Man, the Knicks is a difficult situation because I thought they shouldn't have fired Tibbs. He had advanced further than they advanced in 25 years. He had him on. I think the roster deficiency is what kept them back from making the title. So, can they win it? Who's best for the coaching job? Man, I'm gonna go with Mike Brown. I like what Mike Brown is his kind of like, because he's been around in tough coaching situations from Cleveland with LeBron. He's been in great cultures. Mm-hmm. He went to Golden State with Steph where he was an assistant. He helped turn Sacramento around somewhat. I think he'd be a great fit in New York. I think he has the personality, not quite like Tibbs or a Mike Malone, but more of a player's coach to where they can relate to him. I would like to see him in this position because of his experience of his ability to turn around a culture. I truly believe that, you know, there's other coaches out there that may fit. Man, why not Mark? Hey, how about Mark Jackson? He hasn't been thrown in the coach's hat in a long time. I'm not sure if he still want to coach, but, you know, he has New York in his blood. He went to St. John's. He's a Knicks legend. You know, players can certainly relate to him. So there's a number of guys, but I think the Knicks have to be careful on who they choose and I think the coach, this is a tough situation to be because they're going to ask a coach to come in here and say, hey, we brought you in here to get us to the next level because they didn't believe Tom Thibodeau can get them to that next level. They believe that Tom Thibodeau maxed this team out. But what I say is the roster was maxed out. The inability that I didn't think he can take them no farther. They need a little more because as we saw Indiana depth wear them down, that was the difference in the series. So,
you know, it might be a wild card in terms of the coach that they select. I understand what Paul is saying about the roster, but one of the reasons he's going to be working alongside one of us at some point in time in the next several months, Tom Thibodeau, is because he, as they like to say, was a little hard-headed in terms of what the front office wanted him to do with that roster that Paul is talking about. They wanted him to go deeper than 7. And for whatever reason, he just didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do what they communicated with him about in terms of, because they felt they had a roster that could compete, but for some reason he just made this decision and he was going to do it the Thibodeau way. And he was going to be hard-headed and just, this is how I'm going to coach because this is how I learned how to coach. This is my success has been this way. And they kept trying to tell him over and over, and I kind of know this by talking to some little birdies that, hey, we want you to go 8, 9, 10. And he just would not do it. He refused to. Now, back to your original question, you got a Mike Brown out there. But I respect Mike Brown. I like Mike Brown. But I'm tired of seeing microwave coaches, reheated coaches that you know how you take the food, put it in the microwave, reheat it up, it's going to be good again.
I love leftovers.
Yeah, after how many times, though? Like, damn. You ain't going to keep, you're going to do it once. You ain't going to do it 4 and 5 times.
The same food or like different?
The same food.
Yeah, the same.
Mike Brown is a reheat 4 times over.
Where you grew up at?
4 or 5 times, Paul. By the end, man, you can't go from Monday to Saturday.
Man, mama gonna have that spaghetti.
No, we ain't doing that. No, you gonna get.
We gonna have spaghetti sandwiches.
Put a little pepper in.
We gonna change it up though. We gonna put them in sandwiches.
Yes, a couple days.
Spaghetti sandwiches.
Mike Brown, think of spaghetti sandwich. Lord have mercy.
spaghetti sandwiches,
With Wonder Bread, huh?
Yeah.
With a little butter on top. But look,
change the bread up.
But you talk about Mike Brown. Mike Brown has had stops twice in Cleveland.
So you want to see an assistant get an opportunity?
So let's check this out, though. So you go and you grab a dude like a Sam Cassell from the Celtics, right? You go ahead and you throw him in the mix. Same thing the Celtics did. They had to make a decision on Joe Mazzulla and hired him.
Yeah.
And they ain't looked back since. A young dude, even though Sam ain't young, but a young dude that has the first opportunity to become a head coach.
Yeah.
Take a look at that, you know, and see what that's for, opposed to reheating coaches over and over and over again. Like there's like 4 coaches in this league. Every time I look up, they get a job.
Back in the microwave.
Man, they back in the microwave. Back in the microwave.
On ice, frozen.
Man, they put back in the microwave. I think he'll be great.
Them out.
The first thing they say.
He's Memorial Day food.
No, that's gone. The Memorial Day food, that big gone. I threw that away a long time ago. But think about this though, Joy. They find these coaches, and the first thing they say is, we need some stability. I think he can get us to where we want to go because he's a dictator. He's demanding.
I don't know that the Knicks need stability.
But they come up with excuses all the time.
No, I agree.
Take a look at him.
Do need
try to get Jay Wright. See if he wants to coach in the NBA.
Yeah.
He's got his Villanova guys over there. You grab, hey, man, money talks and everything else walks, right? At the end of the day, no matter what he says about coaching, I don't want to coach, I want to coach. Yeah, you'll coach if I do it right. And then you got Mike Malone out there and Taylor Jenkins, Rick Brunson sitting there. His son is there. He's sitting there as an assistant coach on the bench. So, it's a list of guys to choose from, but I would think first-timers for me, Sam Cassell types.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Because the Knicks don't really need a culture or big shifts. Like, they're not, at least as a team right now, dysfunctional. So they really need to bring in somebody who's, if that's the concept, to push them over the edge. The problem with this job is, though, like you said, whoever takes this, you got to get to the finals. You have to get back to at least the Eastern Conference Finals because they allegedly let him go because he didn't take them as far as they thought they could go.
Right.
So this isn't a rebuild. This isn't you don't really have a long runway here to get things going. So whoever they end up hiring, the pressure's on immediately because he legitimately made this organization better.
Yeah.
Like this is a strange firing to me. I would have given them.
Give me a 5-year deal and we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
This is the strangest year for firings, though, man. Like I said, it's hard out here for a coach. Like you got fired a week before the playoffs, Mike Malone.
Taylor Jenkins.
Taylor Jenkins got fired a month before the playoffs. Tibbs got you to the conference finals.
Yeah. It's tough.
Hard out here for a coach.
You really just
You set up all night long.
No, you want to sing
No,
that?
it just came to my head.
Actually, I'm not even going to do
You're
it.
trying to get to
I'm
the
not going to do it,
playoffs or the
Darnell. I'm
finals.
not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I've censored myself. All right, Karl-Anthony Towns helped lead the Knicks to the Eastern Conference Finals, but reportedly his teammates and coaches became frustrated with his defensive effort. New York made a big move last offseason to acquire him, and Cat has 2 years plus a player option for a third left on his deal. Key, do you think that the Knicks can win it all with Cat?
I don't think they can well, first of all, he's not their one.
Right.
Their one is Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's the best second option because he's a little too inconsistent for me. He really is. And I know he's an all-star and all that and max money and the whole deal. I get it. And I understand they traded for him to be the number 2 guy. But they need somebody else because he doesn't play both ends of the floor every single night. You know, and there's times in quarters where he comes up missing. He goes into witness protection. And then they got to pry him out of witness protection in the fourth quarters. And then all of a sudden he has a 20-point game and we go crazy. Then he comes back the next game and repeats the same thing over and over and over again. It's just, I think if they get another type of piece and then maybe slide him into that 2.5 to third spot, then they'll have a serious opportunity. But if he sits at the 2 spot, I don't see, not at all.
I like the 2.5 spot.
Yeah, because I don't really want to make him a 3 because a 3 sounds degrading for a guy with this type of, a resume. So I'm going to give him 2.5.
Maybe he just doesn't always have to be the 3.
There you go. That's a better way of putting it.
I think you can absolutely win a championship with a guy like Cat. His production, his numbers, when you look down the line, he's consistently one of the best shooting big men year in and year out. And like he said, can he win as the first option a championship? I don't think so as a first option. If you can put Cat in a situation like you said, Key, where he's a third option most of the time, on some nights he's a second option, and on some nights he's the first option, but not every night having the option of being option number 1. Similar to like a Porzingis role. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? To where there's no pressure on him to deliver big numbers every single night, but he could be an X factor, a guy.
I mean, gosh, if he's Porzingis, they got a lot of work to do. They got 2 more people. They
need one more player that's better than Towns. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I said. They need one more guy.
That's better than him, though.
Yeah.
And now you're thinking like, oh, okay,
Hard
this
to
is
get, though.
that is hard to get. That's hard to get.
Who would be better than Towns if they
Who would be better than Towns? Because there's not a lot of
They can
players.
get Kevin Durant.
If you keep Towns, if
you
you
gotta
have
keep-
Brunson,
you gotta
Durant,
keep Towns.
and Cat, you got something.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a productive player. He's an all-star. I believe he made All-NBA this year. You certainly
a good player. There's no
can
question.
win it all with him. It's just what type of role are you going to put him in on a championship team? And I believe that's the role.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the centerpiece of the team. Brunson is the centerpiece. They need another player.
I wonder if they can get KD, though.
I mean, if they can fit KD and keep Cat, they're
Now they ready.
Yeah, they're cooking with something there. But if they can make that work. But the point is that they need another player. Like,
Yes.
I agree with you. This wasn't just a Thibodeau failing. Like, the roster at the top needs to be stronger if you're going to compete in the East. And, you have teams that are going to come back next year in the East stronger and retooled as well. So it's going to probably be a little bit different and deeper next year as well. Coming up, Derrick Henry is known for his powerful running style, but he says that he's faster than his quarterback, Lamar Jackson. And don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports channel on Sirius XM. Derrick Henry rushed for nearly 2,000 yards in his first season with the Ravens. King Henry is also pretty confident in his speed, even when compared to teammate Lamar Jackson. Speak up, Derrick.
You know, some people would say you have like testing speed, and then some people have football speed, and I definitely feel like that's the case for me. I feel like I'm more faster on the field.
If I had you and Lamar race,
Oh, I like me.
What do you
That's
think?
a good one.
You think Derrick Henry's beating Lamar in a race?
Who you putting that money on?
It's going to be tough. It looked like it's going to be tough. But a lot of times I think what we do, because Lamar is slim and he's got quick feet and moves, it looked different. But I
Like
wouldn't,
straight this end to that end. Like not
it's going to be
changing
tight.
direction.
It's gonna
I
be-
think I might be going.
It's going to be tight.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, it's going to be tight. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be tight.
What
You
do
know? Because I done seen this type of thing before, Paul, with a bigger dude. If people say can't win a race, but his style of running is just different.
Like,
That's
didn't
all.
you say you could beat Vita Vea in a race?
Yeah, I got Vita Vea for sure. We need to run that back, Vita. I forgot about that, but I know I can get him. You know what I'm saying? If I can get somebody in the field, I can get him. Yeah, yes, I can.
Paul,
Come on now.
Paul, I love you to
Come
death,
on.
man. You
Come
know
on
that.
now.
Paul, not a chance. Not a chance.
Vita Vea.
That's Vita at the 40.
Nah, that was his rookie year. We don't be trying to know. Come on, I want to see all that. That was rookie year.
Hey, that's his
Man,
rookie year.
he done added 2 more seconds onto that.
All of,
That's rookie year.
no,
now.
he probably
Hey,
faster
he
now.
is
No.
moving.
No, he moving right there. Right there, I couldn't beat him. But this one right here, him? That one right there, I can get him.
Check this out, though,
Are you gonna
Paul.
do the blocking against Vita too? You think you got him in the
Yeah,
blocking?
I can get
So
around.
What's your move? What's your move?
What's the longest you've ever run in a sprint?
There it is. Here it is.
Here go, look. Wop, wop, wop. Ooh, here, I'm out of there.
We're
wop,
gonna
wop.
have to get
Whoop.
some of them braces
I'm
for your
outta there.
knees, man.
It's better.
No, what's the
every time.
longest that you've ever run in a sprint?
In a sprint?
Other than the court, right? Just the court, really, probably.
Yeah, I didn't, man, that's damn. 30 seconds? Whatever 30 seconds is. 30
So
seconds.
let me say this to you,
run
though.
for
I'm gonna help you out here a little bit.
That's a long sprint.
No, I'm gonna help you out with this, though.
How long is
I'm
it?
just gonna let you
How
go.
long were you sprinting?
30 seconds.
Whatever that is.
I don't know how, I don't know that
court, up
distance.
and
That
back,
could be like a 200 yards.
Paul.
30 seconds?
Once the piano get on your back, after you get to about 30 yards down the field, you're gonna stop.
We doing a 40.
I'm giving you 30. That piano gonna hit your back. You're
5
not.
seconds? All I need is 5 seconds, Keith.
Why are you calling Paul Big Back?
No,
5
the piano,
seconds.
because what's gonna
he's
happen
just saying,
is he ain't used to running
He
like
said I'm
that.
gonna lock up or something like
Yeah,
that.
for sure. That piano, you go all of a sudden, you're gonna see this right
Big
here.
Back, Big Back. What don't you run every morning?
Now, treadmill, that ain't,
He walking. He ain't running the treadmill.
No, I ain't really
Walking.
sprinting it, no.
He walking.
We gonna
gotta
find
go-
out. We got sources in your gym.
I'm running.
No, you probably got, it's a lot of
running.
sources in
I'm
my
running.
gym.
You can go to my Instagram, Paul Pierce 34. You can check me out on the daily in the gym, sprinting on the treadmill, ready to go. I'm ready to go.
It's a lot of sources in my gym, trust
Oh
me,
my
Joy.
God.
I'm ready to
I
go.
almost spit my
They be
water
in
out.
there. They be in there.
We should all do a workout together.
I can get everybody in this
Who do
room
you
right
think,
now in the
who do you
sprint.
think bailed?
Everybody in this room, I
I
can
ain't
get
even
in the
about to
sprint.
even get into that. I
Everybody.
ain't even about to get into that argument.
Everybody in this room, I can get in the sprint all in the 40. I'm gonna just stride out. 5 seconds.
Your form
You think you're
alone,
running a 5-second 40?
Your form alone.
565.
Your form alone, though. Come on, be so damn goofy.
565, buddy.
What we gonna do with Paul?
Hunter's play at Jags OTAs has been making waves on social media. Apparently, it's also made an impact in Jacksonville. Jags head coach Liam Cohen says that his cornerback coach asked for more Hunter on the defensive side. So, what kind of immediate impact will Travis Hunter have in Jacksonville, Key?
You know, obviously it's hard to tell right now because it's OTAs and
Right.
mini camps and all that sort of stuff. But I think what they got to first do as a coaching staff is figure out which side of the ball is the most important to utilize him on, and then go from there. Because he's going to make an impact on one side or the other, okay? And he may be able
But
to
he's
make
going
it.
to play both. You're saying just what side's going to get him more?
Yeah, because right now what the coaching staff is doing is they're jockeying for reps on one side of the ball. Like you the defensive side and I'm the offensive side. I want him over here.
Right.
And you're like, no, I need him over here. They've got to figure out
what the split is.
What the split is. Is it 60-40? Is it 70-30? Like, what are we doing, 50-50? Like, what are we doing? And once they do that, then I think we'll really get a true understanding of his ability at the next level. Not at the college or the high school level, but at the pro level, because it's different. I don't care. I understand he's a different freak athlete. No, it's just different, though. The National Football League is totally different in college. Again, I'll point to the beards and the car seats in the back. These grown-ass men that are out on that football field is different than a kid that just left the prom in May and came to college, and that's who you're going to be. It's just a totally different deal. Do I think he's going to be successful in Jacksonville? Yeah, but they've got to know how to utilize him. They got to know what to do with him. If they don't know what to do with him, they don't know what to do with him, they're going to be in trouble.
No, I can't do that.
You can't do that?
It's the first time I've got Paul to say he's not going to do something.
I can't do that.
So we'll see, but I think he's going to be good, man. I think he's really going to be good. I'm waiting and excited to see exactly what type of player he turns out to be this year.
These social media editors know what they're doing. You put it in slow motion.
Man, listen, this is one of the best athletes I've seen come out of college in quite a long time. And I'm watching these highlights, his catches, his interceptions. The man won every award. He won the Jerry Rice Award, the Deion Sanders Award for
every award.
Whatever award they threw out there for college, he won. The Kalishnikov and all that. He won every award.
What they did do though is they hated on him. No, they hated on him for the Thorpe though.
Yeah, the Thorpe.
They hated on him though. He should have had 2 Thorpes.
Man, the man that won every damn award that they put in the college. And you telling me what kind of impact this man is going to win one of the rookies of the year, offense or defense? With the potential to win both. We might see, he might win all those awards.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. This dude is an amazing athlete.
That'd be crazy.
He's going to have such an impact, I believe. And then on the offensive side, he got a quarterback. He got a quarterback, ain't it? What's his name, Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's solid.
You're right.
That dude is solid.
You're right.
The reason Trevor Lawrence ain't reaching his potential is because he's had 10 coaches in 2 years, Key.
He has had a lot of coaches.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
One of their biggest problems, though, is the first 7 games is a little bit of a gauntlet for them. That's what they got to figure out. When you got, obviously, Carolina finished in a good note, but you got Cincinnati, Houston, San Francisco, Kansas City, Seattle, and the Rams in your first 7 games. That's just, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, I think he makes them more dynamic, and if nothing else, he makes them interesting because they have a tough start to the season. They've habitually disappointed with Trevor Lawrence, and he gives them an element that makes them exciting. He's going to have big plays this year on both sides of the ball. How much of a better team they're going to be this year, I don't know that we know that yet. They do have a new head coach now again. He is a rookie, and Trevor Lawrence has yet to prove himself, at least on the field, as a certified franchise guy that can elevate this team consistently. Obviously, he's been paid, and he has won some. But when we're talking about what the expectations for Trevor Lawrence have been, he has not scratched that yet. So I think it's, as a team, he makes them interesting. He makes them dynamic. How much more winning they're going to do yet, I don't think we know. But he has the potential to put up big numbers and win Rookie of the Year on both sides of the ball, which is crazy.
Which is crazy.
Coming up, Luka Doncic made a huge impact on the Lakers when he arrived midseason. But what impact will LeBron have on Luka? That's next on Speak. Time to check in on our social life. Yesterday, we talked about Micah Parsons' absence this week from OTAs, and Micah posted on social media about it, saying, quote, "I haven't missed minicamp in 4 years, even though the contract is not done. I have teammates and a playbook. I'm preparing as if I will be on the field the first week of camp, but it's in the owner's hands. I'm ready to win a Super Bowl." It's in the owner's hands, Keyshawn.
In the owner's hands for what?
I don't know. That's what Micah said.
In the owner's hands for what, though? He said he's never missed a minicamp, and he don't plan on missing it. So that's all I really care about, is that the fact of the matter is that he's not going to miss minicamp, and I told y'all that.
I mean, I do think that's a little bit of a reveal. It's in the owner's hands, means that, it's up to Jerry to get it done.
Of course, he gonna say that. That's what you should say as a player. I'm putting it all on the suits.
Yeah.
Period. Get it done. It ain't on me. Y'all got the checkbook, make it work. Period. That's what he's telling Jerry. Because otherwise, Jerry will try to flip it in his own way and make it seem like Micah's being selfish.
Right.
So I'm going to put it on the owner,
Micah said
Paul.
he's going to be there, so he's not being selfish. I mean, not that him not going would be selfish, because he should be paid by now anyway.
But you think he said that. Had he not said that, Jerry now has the door open for him to just say whatever. It make us believe that Micah's the one who's holding the deal up. Micah's letting you know right now, today, on the 4th of June, that it's Jerry that's holding the deal up if it does not get done.
When LeBron and Luka linked up in LA, things turned around for the Lakers, but their season was cut short in the first round of the playoffs. Luka joined LeBron's podcast recently, and co-host Steve Nash asked Luka what he could learn from LeBron. Let's take a listen.
Well, first of all, he shows up like 10 hours before the game, so I mean, that was really the main, like, I came to the arena.
For 22 years?
He was already done working out.
Do you think LeBron will have a positive impact on Luka, Paul?
Absolutely, he's going to have a positive impact. You know, you can see it right there in that interview that Luka was watching and taking notes, saying LeBron is going to show up 10 hours. Now, I'm not saying, I know he was exaggerating that. You know, I know he doesn't show up 10 hours, but he shows up probably pretty early, gets his work in, gets prepared for the game.
How many hours before the game do you show up?
So I would get there like 4 hours before the game. You know, I like to get there like...
But you have shoot around in the morning.
Yeah, so you'll do shoot around at 11 to 12. I'll get some lunch, 12:30. Take a 1 to 2:30 nap. Get there about 3:30. I get to the arena. Probably get shots up at 4. Game's at 7:30. So I'll get my shots up, massage, tape, probably look at some game film. Then I get into a nice little zone, and I'm prepared to go. So I know LeBron, you know, as he gets older, he probably gets there a little earlier now because he's probably getting treatment, massage, tape, warming up, bike, shots, get a good lather, and then he gets into a zen mode to where he locks in, probably puts his headphones on for the last hour before coach comes in and gets his pregame speech. And so, you know, I think Luka is going to see all of that. He's going to see his practice habits, he's going to see his eating habits, and he's going to soak it all up because I used to watch when Kevin and Ray came, I would watch both of them now. And I took some game from them and put it in my routine. You know, Kevin would do certain things and, you know, I would watch it and he made me a better player, actually, just his preparation, his tenacity on the court, the things he did defensively, Ray's shooting. You know, I took some of his shooting drills and it helped me become a better shooter, free throw shooter. So definitely LeBron is going to be a great influence on Luka in that aspect. Just his preparation alone, I think, and that's the one thing we talk about Luka. JJ Redick said after the season, we got to get in championship shape. That obviously was directed at Luka because the Mavs felt like too much hookah, too much beers, or whatever he was doing. I don't know. That's just rumors. I don't know for sure. But it was, you know, people talk and say certain things and make excuses, but it still don't like take away the fact that he's out here giving you 30 every night. So if we're going to be looking at a Luka picking up on LeBron's habits, based on what he's already doing, this might be an MVP year for Luka.
You know, it'll have some impact, I believe. There's no question about it, because whenever you have a veteran player that's doing all the right things, you can't help but take something from it. Like Paul is talking about with KG and Ray. But he can't try to emulate the exact same routine. That's not going to work, because that routine for LeBron is built for LeBron. It's not built for anybody else. So just to take a little bit from here and there and put it in your back pocket certainly can go a long ways, starting with figuring out how to get into a certain type of shape. He ain't going to get in LeBron shape because first of all, he doesn't have the same body type. So that's not going to happen. But just taking a little bit here and there, you could certainly learn from that. No question about it. I think he will. It depends on how much longer LeBron is going to be a Laker and still be playing in the NBA for him to even grasp even more, you know? And so it'll be fun to see this upcoming season. I got the Lakers winning the championship, though. But go ahead, Joy.
Win this year? This couple seasons?
Wait.
This up-and-coming season?
Slide that in at the end.
Nah, you can't be letting this dude play 2K. Man, get this dude off 2K.
Listen, we want Luka to have muscle so bad.
Not gonna happen. It's not built. Look at that.
I think
Look, he ain't got no definition nowhere to be seen.
and it's dropping 30.
And give you 30.
30 every night.
I think that he will have a positive impact on Luka. I don't know how you can spend significant time around one of the greatest, if not the greatest player in the history of the sport that you play and not learn something from him. And he's not just any, all-time great. He's one of the best ever when it comes to taking care of his body, what he eats, how he recovers, how much water he drinks. Like, everything is down to a science. So, and that's been a part of why he's had such an incredible amount of longevity. So it's not even just the shape that LeBron's in. He's always ready to play and has taken such amazing care of his body. We know how much he spends on that. And he's really set the standard for that in the league and really around all of sports. So I don't see how you can spend time around anyone like that and not ask questions and not apply some of that to your routine, if nothing else, because why not? That's such an incredible opportunity. I mean, I've learned from everyone that I've worked with in one way or another. It doesn't mean that I'm going to change everything about how I do it, but people have habits for a reason. Like, what you habitually do is who you are. So that's why LeBron has that. And if the critique of Luka's game from so many people is that he could be better if he was able to work on his body and be in better shape, at some point, just prove the haters wrong. Like, just lean into it and make that happen. I know we talk about whether his defensive end is him being in shape or effort. You say a lot of the time that it's effort. Maybe it's a combination of both.
Listen, this is what I would do if I was Luka. At some point this summer, I'll be like, hey, LeBron, I'm going to be in town for the week. I'm coming to L.A. if he's not already living here for the summer. Just give me 1 week. When you start working out, when you come back from your vacations and all that, the family time, give me 1 week with you to where I can just kind of see your routine. I will shadow him. Like, whether they get up at 4 or 5 in the morning, they do their conditioning, to breakfast, to massage, to ice bath, to recovery, to back to the gym. I'm going to follow him for 1 week. All right, I'm out. I'm going to pick up on something out of that.
Yeah.
That's all he needs. You ain't got to be around him every day. You already see it in practice, but when you go behind the scenes, because this is where the real work is, the summer. That's where you really, what LeBron puts out on, the product he puts out on the floor during the regular season starts in the summer. That's why he's prepared and he's strong and he can go up and down for 82 games at the age of 40. It starts, and so that's the part I want to see, because that's the part that retires you when you don't want to do that part no more, and that's the book. This is just the cover when you get on the court. This is the real book, the everyday struggle. So that's the part Luka should come and see how he prepares and gets ready for the regular season.
Yeah, who was it that said you pay me to play on to practice? I play on Sunday for free. Someone said that.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying a lot
Somebody
of people,
originally said it.
No, I know, but a lot of,
But isn't that what retired you? Is not wanting to do the work in the summer?
It just got too mentally draining for me. I didn't want to get up at 5 in the morning. I was like, the sand dunes. Let me lay back down, put the alarm on, alarm go back off. Do I gotta keep doing this? Nah, I'm good.
You get up to work out now, though.
different.
It's different because that's 1 hour.
And it ain't really a whole full hour.
Right. That's 1
Taking
hour.
breaks for social media.
Social media breaks, looking at people in the mirror do this.
Right. Like that, when that grind, you going like 2, 3, 4 hours out the day.
Marvin Harrison.
You know?
You get paid to practice, the games are free.
Yeah, so it was like, man, that grind right there.
If you could just play the game, you just go out and play the game. But they're practicing in meetings and listening to them, talk to them, and they really, you in there, and they not, you know everything, but they still installing. It's like, I don't want to sit here and listen to them talk to Joy. Why I need to do that?
Were the meetings what retired you?
Basically, the meetings, yeah. And a lot of what Paul is saying, just like, I don't feel like doing this no more, man. What's the end goal?
Doing these sprints, I done did it for so long.
Yeah,
now.
I ain't gonna never catch Jerry Rice, so what's the point?
And then you start, like for me, I had kids.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, I want to spend more time. You looking at them, they growing up. You're like, I want to spend some more time around them now. You know, I want to wake up, take them to school. I'm missing out on stuff. I'm gone on Christmas. You know what I'm saying? So it's about that time. Like, you know what? It's time for me to hang it up.
Well, I think he's going to have a good influence on him. And someone he definitely had an influence on was Bronny James, who only played 27 games as a rookie last season, but averaged just over 2 points a game, roughly 6 minutes played per appearance. Despite that, the Lakers are reportedly planning to make Bronny more of a regular part of the rotation next season. So, Paul, do you agree that Bronny will be a key part of the Lakers' rotation next season?
I don't know. I got to see a little bit more from Bronny because, like, when I watched him last year, he got better as the year went on. Obviously, he got a lot of experience in the G League. But when you're playing at an NBA at a high level every night in the regular rotation, it's got to be one thing you can hang your hat on every single night. And I got to see what's that going to be for Bronny because at 6'2", you know, most guys at 6'2", they bring something like dynamic, something that you could say, hey, all right, he's a small guard, but he has an impact on the defensive end. That's just like Patrick Beverly. He's just a strong defender. He can hang his hat on that every night. Or he's a great shooter. Like I played with a guy, Eddie House, who was 6 feet, 6'1", great shooter. If he's open, he's gonna knock it down. Or his ball handling decision making. So I'm curious to see what Bronny brings to the table to say he's great at this. And you only gotta be great at one thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If you're great at one thing, like I said, Pat Beverly, Eddie House, he shot the ball well. I mean, great. Patrick Beverly was a great defender. Tony Allen, great defender. Probably couldn't shoot as well, but he was great at something. So that's what I'll be looking out for if Bronny's going to be put into a regular rotation, if he can become great at something, whether it's his playmaking ability, his ability to knock down shots consistently, or even distribute the ball, or even on defense, if he becomes a lockdown defender like a guy like Lou Dort, who does that great.
He may have improved enough to increase his minutes. There's no question about it. I mean, they probably like exactly what they saw in the G League and what little minutes he got up with the varsity. They like that. And then they look at his growth from that standpoint and say to themselves, he's going to be a much better player come training camp. And then, like I said last year when he first was joined the Lakers, if they can carve out 3 minutes from a couple rookies apiece. That's your 10 minutes right there. Just take a couple minutes from a couple veteran guys to get him out on the floor. And it sounds like this is what they're willing to do because if you think about the Lakers and the organization and even J.J. Redick to a point, he's never said anything about Bronny James that he didn't deliver on.
Yeah.
Everything he's always said about, hey, he's going to play in this many minutes this time during the year, he delivered on those sort of things. So I don't see why he would go back on his word. So we'll see.
I mean, this would be the plan with when you draft a second-round player, exactly what they did with him. They had him develop in the G League, got him some time up with the varsity. He's going to work over the summer. They're going to try and define what his identity is as a player. This is no different than any other second-round pick that you would have on any organization. Like, unless they're coming in and blowing everyone away right away, which very rarely happens because they are so young coming into the league now. It takes 2 to 3 years sometimes for a player to even become a full, beard situation. But with the NBA, they're so much younger coming into the league than in the NFL. We kind of put the same type of rookie expectations on NBA players sometimes, and they're just not at the same development level that NBA players are coming in.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, and I'm going to look out for it if he plays Summer League this year.
You know what's so funny? I said that to Nicholas, or my producer. I said to him, I wonder if they're going to...
I would let him play Summer League, because that's how you really get
That's what I said. I wonder if
by
they're going to
playing
send him
in
back to Vegas.
5-on-5 games. I would, let's get in Summer League a few games. Let's just see what that
Why
looks
wouldn't he
like.
play Summer League?
I think he should.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was expecting him to
I
play
think he
Summer
should
League.
too, but they may feel like he's beyond that at this point.
No, I mean,
they may. I don't
maybe.
know.
I mean, I would think that he was going to play Summer League, though.
Yep.
Coming up, Shedeur Sanders reportedly has a path to start for the Browns this season, and we will talk about it next on Speak. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver was on Breakfast Ball this morning and talks about the two smaller market teams facing off in the NBA Finals. Speak up, Adam.
We were going into a Super Bowl and it was Packers against Steelers, you guys would be celebrating that. Those would be storied franchises. People wouldn't be talking about, the fact that Pittsburgh is a small market. So in fact, I'm happy whatever team ends up in the finals, but it's been intentional from our standpoint to create a system, a collective bargaining agreement that allows more teams to compete.
Okay, let's not compare oranges to porcupines here, because that's what just happened. We have to say things that make sense. I understand that Pittsburgh and Green Bay are not big markets, but Pittsburgh has 6 Lombardi trophies and 8 Super Bowl appearances, and the Packers have 5 Super Bowl appearances and 4 titles, and the the trophy is named after their coach. So, I wouldn't have used those two places as an example. Like, you're not going to go to a Pacers bar in Rome. I have, however, been to a Steelers bar in Rome, Italy. Like, the Steelers were the only, yes, I have. The Steelers were the only team on television. The Packers were the only team on television.
Yeah.
The Cowboys, these have international brands. It's not, it's not we're not talking about small markets for the same reason. The Pacers have never had a championship. They have 2 finals appearances in their history. The Thunder just moved in 2008. The brand didn't even exist before 2008. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Packers, no, we would not call those small market teams.
Even though they're in television markets, in terms of television markets, audience is small, but it doesn't project the same way at the television, the way OKC and Indy would project.
Well, small market teams have smaller fan bases because less people live in those cities. But when you're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers that have decades of winning and playing deep into the postseason and winning Super Bowls, and the Green Bay Packers with transcendent superstars like Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, and again, winning Super Bowls, you can't compare that to the Pacers and Thunder.
No, not at all. But I think this. Not at all. Not at all. Right. Not at all. I mean, the thing about this, about small market teams in the NBA, I don't even think it matters, because when you start going to the NBA Finals, and the one thing that the people are going to lack some interest in this finals is because of the star power. It has nothing to do with OKC and Indiana.
Yeah, Cleveland was a small market, but you had LeBron.
Yeah, Milwaukee was a small market, but you had Giannis.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing I think that's kind of like the viewers, they don't even know who these superstars are yet. Yes, Shai Gilgeous won the MVP, but it's not a household name yet, like a Steph Curry or Kevin Durant or LeBron James now, and Haliburton. People are just now learning who Haliburton is, even though he has been to the All-Star game, he's been to the Olympics, and now he's leading his team to the finals. And, when I look up, and I look at the finals that I played in 2008, 2010, we had 6 Hall of Famers on the court.
Yeah, but it's the Celtics and the Lakers.
Yeah, but you still got to have the players out there.
Yeah, but even if y'all have rubber stamps out there, it's the Lakers and it's the Celtics. It's just like Pittsburgh and Green Bay.
Yeah, true that. But I think
examples.
the players make a difference too, because if you have Durant on this OKC team and you got Reggie Miller on this Indiana team, then people will be like, oh, okay, this is okay. So it's the lack of the star power. I don't think it has nothing to do with the small market, big market, because plenty of stars have played in small markets and have gone to NBA finals. But when I watch this finals coming up, this is going to be great basketball, people. I'm talking about this is high-level X's and O's that I'm seeing, that I watched all through the playoffs. I believe that this is going to be one of the more exciting finals that we've seen in quite some time, because last year we got a snoozer. The Celtics won in 5. The year before, I think, who won? Golden State?
But it was a snoozer, but it still was it was still good. It was like fun to watch, though, because of Boston and because of Luka. That's it was kind of like fun to watch, and Kyrie. It was just fun to watch.
Because of the star power, though, too.
Yeah.
And so, to the casual fans who are going to be watching this NBA Finals or not, I think you should actually tune in, because of the way the game is played by these two teams. It's not come down and just shoot a 3 every single time. It's really execution, beautiful basketball to watch. So I'm excited to watch this final.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. It's going to be energetic. It's going to be a little bit old school. Both these teams play really, really good defense.
Right.
And these, fans are going to get introduced to the future of the NBA.
Right.
Because this is really feeling like the passing of the baton.
Yep.
There are no old heads in this.
That ain't no
at
old
all.
heads.
These are young ascending stars.
Who's the old head? Rick Caruso? Rick Caruso.
I'm trying to think.
Rick is not playing in there.
Yes, Rick Caruso's not playing.
You did not hear that here.
Rick Caruso. Alex Caruso.
Alex Caruso.
Alex Caruso.
That was crazy.
He would be the old head, huh?
Huh?
Out of all of them, is he like the oldest?
Who's the oldest player in this
out there?
final?
It's got to be Caruso. I can think
he's probably the oldest player on that team. And then on the other side, you got
Siakam?
No, not Siakam. Miles Turner may be the oldest player on the team. I'm thinking James Jones is on the bench. You know,
No,
he
but I'm talking
probably
about actually getting minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So probably Miles Turner has the most experience. I think he's like in his 10th year.
Caruso's not going to be
It's
open.
the changing of the guard. It's fun to watch. I like what Adam
It is,
Silver
yeah,
doing.
no, it's exciting, and we talked about this yesterday about there not being super teams as
Yeah.
much anymore, and all of that, changing because of the CBA. I think it's great. I wouldn't have used
Those two teams.
No, not those two teams.
Green
Maybe you
Bay.
could have.
You should have went to the Panthers and the Titans or something.
Yeah.
Exactly, something like that.
Yeah. Well, let's transition to football and the Browns quarterback competition. Cleveland has 5 quarterbacks on the roster, with 4 of them competing to start next season, with Deshaun Watson still recovering from a torn Achilles. So Shedeur Sanders was the second quarterback that the Browns drafted in April, but Shedeur has a path to starting over veterans Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, as well as fellow rookie Dylan Gabriel. But Keyshawn, is Shedeur the best option for the Browns to start week 1?
He's playing well in OTAs right now. He's killing it by, for a guy to come in college and putting on T-shirts and shorts and a helmet, he's doing a terrific job. So when I start to look at their schedule, in the first several weeks for a young quarterback, it could be problematic. And the reason it can be problematic is because of the defensive side of the ball that they're going to be up against. Think about this. Well, Cincinnati's retooling their defense with Al Golden as a new coordinator, but you got Baltimore. You got Green Bay. You got Detroit, even though Aaron Glenn has left, the players are still there. We don't know what it'll turn out to be. Then you got Minnesota and Brian Flores and what he likes to do. Then you got Pittsburgh. So you start sitting there going, Then you got the Dolphins, and then obviously there's Vrabel, who changed things up in New England on the defensive side of the ball. That's a tough situation to put a young quarterback in those first several weeks of the season going up against these type of defenses. But if he goes and he outperforms Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett, which I have no doubt that he will, then the coaches are going to have a tough decision, Paul.
No, it's not a tough decision.
To make.
No.
He has the opportunity to force their hand if he plays well. See, I had to change it up from yesterday because I don't need no giggles. And that's how I feel about the situation.
Well
he
done.
has that opportunity and that chance.
This is what I believe in, and you understand, Key, the politics of football and how they work.
Yeah.
He can actually go out there and actually win the start or outplay them. Let's say outplay them. Come week 1 and still not be the starter because of the politics. Because he was picked second in the quarterback in the draft.
I think if he outplays Dylan Gabriel, he will make things difficult. But I think Kenny Pickett is probably going to be the option for week 1 because he's younger, significantly younger than Joe Flacco, and he has starting experience.
You notice I didn't even mention Joe Flacco.
Yeah, I'm not mentioning Joe Flacco either. But to me, I think Kenny Pickett makes the most sense because of how the season starts.
Yeah.
And he has starting experience. The Browns are not going to be competitive this year.
Know that.
Okay. I don't think that the Browns are going to be super competitive this year. I think they're taking steps. They're looking for their franchise guy. Doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to be bad, but I'm not picking them to win. None of us picked them to win the division.
No, I'm not picking them to win a division.
Right. So I think I think he will end up being the starter at one point this year.
That's
but
true.
I think that they will go with Kenny Pickett because he's young, he's in the building, he's familiar with that division, and he has starting experience.
No, you're right about.
If there's any politics in it, it'll be that. But I don't think that if Kenny plays bad for a significant stretch, that they're just going to keep him out there out of principle.
Right.
You gotta like the politics side. If there was a first round pick at the quarterback spot, there's not even a conversation.
Right.
Or if there was a second round pick at the quarterback spot, then you take a guy in the 5th round. That's not a conversation. But when you got 3 and 5, that's essentially the same thing. They're not far off in terms of where they got selected. But I expect for him to actually get time before any of those other quarterbacks.
I'm actually excited for the preseason this year.
Why? Who's excited for the preseason?
I want to see what
I like
they look
watching
like.
the young guys because the young guys gonna get some downs. They're gonna get some.
Yeah.
We're gonna. I like the preseason.
I'm excited for the
I don't need to
first
see no
quarter
wide
of
receiver
some
wearing
of
number
the
52. Sorry.
preseason games.
Preseason is look. This is about preseason. You're gonna see one of your homies out there that was like, damn, I just saw him down the block. They just threw him out there.
Wearing number 29, playing tied in.
You're gonna be like, who is that? Oh,
That's how they tried to do your nephew. They put him in number 46.
Stop.
He looked like a straight gump.
Stop.
Hey.
Sam Darnold is a great number. He is a great number. Sam Darnold has a breakout season with the Vikings last year. Darnold threw for a career high in yards and touchdown passes while leading Minnesota to a 14-3 record. But before that, he had never completed a winning season in 6 combined years with the Jets, Panthers, and the 49ers. So, Key, fight on. Which version of Sam will you see in Seattle?
Closer to the Minnesota guy than the New York Jets. That's what you're going to see. You're going to see a guy in an offense. First of all, he's in a great situation because he's got a defensive-minded coach. So that defensive-minded coach will know when he wants Sam to put the ball in the air. He's not going to have him dropping back 50 times a game, delivering the football. He's going to keep it nice and tight for him. You know, I like him. I think he's going to do a terrific job. I mean, many people still have, you know, some reservations about him based on what the season looked like toward the end. He didn't play well in the last couple games of the year. So everybody's like, oh, here we go again. That was his first real opportunity to be in that situation he was in. As a starting quarterback on a good team that made the playoffs, I'm looking forward to him in Seattle being the same guy that I saw in Minnesota.
Ooh, that Rams game was tough, though.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
What?
That right there. Oh, that Rams game was so tough. Yes, he's never seen that before. It was new to him.
Okay.
Like it is to a lot of young quarterbacks that get an opportunity for the first time. He's a young quarterback. He's not old. He's a young quarterback. Two bad situations.
He's younger.
2 bad situations.
Yeah, young quarterback is like...
He learned nothing in New York.
Okay, but
Adam Gase was his coach. Come on now, stop. And then he goes to Carolina. They trade away Christian McCaffrey. He gets hurt. Then he goes and backs up, was it Brock? Yeah, backs up Brock Purdy in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And he gets a real opportunity and a chance now
he did an amazing
in Minnesota.
job in the regular season.
Fight on.
What do you think, Bob?
This is a tough one for me. Yeah, he had a great season in Minnesota, but I look at his situation in Minnesota is a lot different as it is in Seattle. You had probably arguably the top wide receiver duel out there at your disposal. The coach, I mean, you had everything, and now you have to wonder, like, what the weapons he's gonna have. I don't know.
I don't mind. I don't
know this. You know, sometimes you can have like Vanilla Ice, just a one-hit wonder.
No, I don't mind. I don't mind those weapons in Seattle for him. In how Seattle wants to play.
But I like his progression. You know, he improved. He got better. I'm confident in him coming into Seattle, and I think he will do well because when you have a season like that, you gain confidence.
Yeah.
And so you look at the tape from a year ago, it's something you can build on, and I'm sure the offensive coordinator's looking at some of the things he can do over there in Seattle that he did in Minnesota to try to accommodate him. So, you know, I expect a great version of Sam Darnold because now he solidified himself. He's found a home, a contract to where he can really settle in and the pressure isn't on him to perform. He can go out there and just be himself, you know, because when you get in them situations like he was in Minnesota, it was pressure to perform well because he was at the point that it was like he was going to slide into that category to where it wasn't going to be no more starting jobs available.
Lifetime backup.
Lifetime, right.
Yeah.
Until that year. So, you know, I think he will do well.
And Seattle's first 7 games is pretty, that's pretty cool.
Oh, they have the first easy schedule that we've ever seen.
Well, they got San Francisco, Pittsburgh, New Orleans, Arizona, Tampa Bay, Jacksonville, and Houston. I mean, that's a solid schedule to have.
It's not the gauntlet that we've seen other teams have. I think we'll get somewhere in the middle. I don't think he'll be as good as he was with the Vikings. I don't think he'll be anywhere near as bad as he was with the Jets. But the Vikings are a top to bottom great team. They have a great defense. They have a really, really good head coach. They have the best receiver in the league, 1 or 2 best receiver in the league, and arguably the best duo in the league. They went 14-3 last year.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's going to happen. I think he'll be good. I think they'll be a competitive team, but I don't expect to see the exact same version of Sam in the regular season that we saw with Minnesota.
What you won't see is the same type of statistics. You'll see just a more efficient quarterback that lends itself to exactly what Seattle wants to do. Think about it. They got Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
And they got...
they have Jackson Smith and Jigba. They have Cooper Kupp. They have Marcus Valdez-Scantling.
Yeah, that's
Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet, Noah Fant.
That's a nice offense.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Coming up, SGA won the regular season MVP, but is he the most important player in the finals? The truth will reveal his list next on Speak. The NBA Finals are just one day away, and we got our very own Finals MVP to break down his most important players in the matchup. Truth, take it away.
All right, listen up and listen carefully. These are my 7 most important players of the NBA Finals. We already know Tyrese Haliburton and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander are very, very important to their team. Obviously, they're the stars with the MVP and Shai, and we all know what Tyrese Haliburton brings to the table. But check it out. Let's get to the nitty-gritty. Going down the line, I'm naming Jalen Williams. Yeah, they call him J-Dub. Check it out. The Thunder are 7-1 this postseason when J-Dub scores 20 or more points. You tell me that's not an X factor? Boy, it is. Number 4 on my list, Miles Turner. Yeah, I know you're surprised by Miles Turner, but he's been an unsung hero throughout the playoffs. Miles Turner, the Pacers are 4-0. Yes, 4-0 when he scores 20 or more points, because check it out, they're gonna leave him open. Tyrese Haliburton is gonna be coming off pick and rolls, and I do believe they're gonna have to trap him, and he's gonna be wide open at the top of the key for a lot of threes, and if he can knock those down, it's gonna be a long series for the Oklahoma City Thunder. At 5, Aaron Nesmith. Check it out. Do y'all remember that game? He hit 8 3-pointers against the New York Knicks in the comeback game 1, including the NBA record 6 in the 4th quarter? Man, that turned the whole tide of the series around, which eventually led to Tyrese Haliburton knocking down that shot that bounced off the rim and hit the top of the Statue of Liberty and came back down and fell, and the whole New York crowd was in shambles, which eventually led to their exit from the tournament. At number 6, Andrew Nembhard. Check this out. They will need his defensive efforts against OKC, because check it out. The Pacers are 5-1 this postseason when Nembhard has 2 or more steals, and he played an essential role at slowing down Brunson, big body Brunson, who averaged 30. Did y'all see him in Game 6? Looked worn out thanks to the special efforts of Andrew Nembhard. At number 7, last but not least, Chet Holmgren. Check it out. His efficiency is going to be key for him being the 3rd guy. The Thunder are 5-1 this postseason. Yes, 5-1 when Chet shoots over 50% from the field. Hey, that shouldn't be hard for a guy who's 7'1", 7'2", maybe 7'3". The way he looked out there, he should be able to get to the rim, have easy opportunities, because they'll be so keyed in on SGA and J-Dub. So these are my 7 most important players of the NBA Finals. This is my list. Tell me what y'all think.
Nice list. We love it. You have any issues?
Oh, man, check it out, though. Yeah. No, it's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you ain't really leave nobody off here, right? Most important. Well, you kind of missed. You did leave my man Siakam off.
I did, huh?
Yeah,
because you know what? He is important, and I know he won Eastern Conference Most Valuable Player. I expect him to be great.
Yeah.
You know, he's the only one in that locker room that has finals experience and a championship ring. So I expect from him, but these guys are going to be key.
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Man, you left Caruso off too.
I know, it was Caruso got 8.
listen,
Alex Caruso, not Rick Caruso.
You know what's,
Not Rick Caruso.
Not Rick Caruso.
Rick Caruso can do nothing.
I left Rick Caruso. Yeah, you're right. I did leave Rick Caruso off.
Coming up, Steelers fans reacted strongly to 2 current players attending a political rally. We'll tell you how much politics can impact the locker room next on Speak.
Rick?
The Pittsburgh Steelers emailed a letter to fans yesterday addressing the attendance of 2 current players and 1 former Steeler at a Trump rally in Pittsburgh on Friday. The letter acknowledged the, quote, range of reactions from their fans and said that, quote, our alumni and current players make their own individual decisions that reflect their views. So, can politics disrupt team chemistry?
You know, you try not to bring politics into a locker room setting, number one. Normally, you don't. When I played, that was not something that you would get caught up in, worrying about someone's political views and beliefs. It just wasn't, because most of the players inside the locker room, Joy and Paul, as you know, being in a locker room and your brother being in a locker room, you've been around sports most of the time. We keep all that sort of stuff right with ourselves. We don't try to put pamphlets on somebody's seat or tell somebody who they should vote for or tell somebody what they should do in terms of supporting a particular political view, so to speak. We just don't do it. We don't touch it. When I was playing, I backed certain political parties because that's who I was and who I am, period, and end of the discussion. But I ain't gonna bring that into my locker room to disrupt what we trying to accomplish as the leader on the offensive side of the ball. If everybody knew that I went to a certain rally to speak and spoke, they're gonna be like, oh, that's cool, and keep it moving. They ain't not gonna get caught up. The fan base isn't gonna get caught up. What happened in Pittsburgh is you now have the fans irritated. The fact that Mason Rudolph and a teammate and a former teammate made a decision to do certain things. And they got mad. So now all of a sudden the Pittsburgh Steelers organization has to, we don't want to touch this. We got to stay away from this. And that now could create a problem inside the locker room, Joy.
Do you think politics disrupt team chemistry, Paul?
I've never seen it happen. You know, I've never been a part of all of that. And like Keith said, you're entitled to your views, but just don't let it in the locker room. And if something seems to creep in the locker room, I think as grown men, you have a conversation about it. You know, because I've seen things ruin the locker room, and it ain't been no politics. And I'll just keep it at that.
Girls.
I mean, you all know what I'm saying. So, like I said, as grown men, as you know, when you get into this situation, I think it's something you talk about, you have meetings about, you discuss it, and you let it go. That's how all teams work. But I've never seen it like separated locker room. You know?
I don't think in general they do. I do think times have changed. There was a time where you did not bring up your politics at all. It was like, don't bring up politics and religion at dinner. But, you know, things are different now and people discuss. And, you know, politics aren't necessarily just, you know, how much taxes are you paying. It's very much associated to the type of values that you have as a person. So younger, you know, people are paying more attention to politics. Obviously, the fans had a reaction to it, which is why the Steelers felt the need to say something about it. So I don't know how different locker rooms are now than they used to be, but they're free to attend whatever they, want to attend, and everyone is also free to be mad at them for attending, because that's what freedom is. We're all just free for now. Coming up, the NBA Finals are just over 24 hours away. We'll give you our series predictions next on Speed.
It's hard out here for a coach.
We're set to go.
Boy, do they know how to play.
Haliburton for three. Three ball. SGA playing like an MVP. Minnesota has no answers. Haliburton unloads a three. Oh, that did not happen. Gilgeous-Alexander puts it in. Spins, goes inside. Chet Holmgren with the stuff. Here comes Siakam, scooping it home. Falls down, gets it to Williams. Jalen Williams with a big bucket. Haliburton weaving, driving, scoring. The Oklahoma City Thunder are going back to the NBA Finals. For the first time in 25 years, Indiana is going to the NBA Finals.
That's right.
The NBA Finals tip off tomorrow night in OKC. Paul, Pacers, Thunder winning it all in how many games?
I'm going to go off on a limb, and I'm going to say the Pacers in 7, George.
Pacers
So
in
you going
7?
good? You going good hair? Okay, got it. I'm taking the Thunder in 5.
God. Thunder in 5?
Yeah. Thunder in 5.
Why are you speaking that up? I'm going Thunder in 7.
Ooh.
Thunder in 7. That's it for us.